Let's see. Nope, it won't let me do it. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so welcome everyone. We are almost at our halfway point for our course. Who would have thought it? The time is going so quickly. The next few sessions are going to be a little bit different, so I wanted to share with you all what that's going to look like. I'm going to share my screen. Looks like my audio driver is a little out of date, it says, but we're not going to update that right now. That's the screen that I want to share. And you should be able to see yourselves, but now I'm going to downsize the group. And can you see my screen okay? You should be able to see my messy desktop.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do these next few weeks is we have a wheel of names. Everyone is on the wheel. And to make it fair, the reason why we're doing this approach is I had promised I would always start with different trends and things that I'm noticing in the course. And unfortunately, one of the trends this semester is everyone is busy doing work in life, which is very important. But we're not getting our work completed and turned in, and some of us aren't paying attention to the directions within that work. So that's not fair to those who are being very studious and paying attention. We all make mistakes, but coming back and making sure that the learning is taking place is what my responsibility is for you all. So I thought with these presentations, what we would do is just do random selection. And I have the list of everyone in the class here, and we will use the wheel to select so that it's totally fair. And if that person isn't here, then we'll just mark them as absent and go on. And we have slated to have about 7 people present each week, today and the next 2 weeks each. And if you're not here and present to present when you're selected, then there will be a deduction in your points for your final presentation. I think that's the only way to be fair to go about it and to continue the learning moving forward. I do want you all to know that I am in conversation with the university about looking at some different approaches to the course designs moving forward so that it can be more flexible to your work and life needs. So that is in the works, and I would love to take some time towards the end of this course to get some direct insights from you all on that, because at the end of the day, this learning is for you. And when you graduate or when you complete this course, for the course, it's my responsibility to ensure that you have the learning that is needed in relation to organizational leadership. And for graduation, that speaks to something. When you go out into the work world as a graduate of Windsor University, that means something. So to me, this isn't just about points or scores in passing or not passing a course in relation to the quantity of points. To me, it speaks so much more. You're going to be leaders out there in different organizations, and you're going to stand out, and people are going to know that you graduated from Windsor University, and then Windsor can be very proud of that. So, so today I'm going to take us to our objectives. And we're really looking at synthesizing our learning through those readings and interviews that you all did. And what a variety of people and paths of life and professionalism that you all experience by branching out to people who are leaders in organizations. And it's exciting. I've gotten to see glimpses of it along the way, and it's exciting for me to have you all get to see each other's learnings with that. So we're looking at really incorporating the why behind the topic that you selected. What does it mean for you as a leader? Why did that stand out for your curiosities and gain your attention? And then also getting the insights of those that you interviewed and why you selected them to interview, what made them stand out within that topic area. And of course, the visuals. Oh my gosh, the visuals that you all have designed that I saw so far. To be totally transparent, as of last night when I was going through and posting grades, only 12 of the 24 had completed your infographics, and a couple of people wrote formal reports instead of an infographic. So they're going to need to still do that infographic. But wow, it just speaks to your ability as a leader to condense information, to really select what is essential, and to leave people wanting more and building curiosity. And those are all great characteristics of leaders. So well done on the visuals. And then the request for feedback that we're doing with this is mainly for you to get insights from your peers, because you can grow from my insights and from what I share with you all in my feedback. But when we multiply that by allowing ourselves to compliment or offer considerations to each other, it just offers us a much broader opportunity to develop and affirm the leadership characteristics that we're working on. So that's why we're incorporating that feedback piece today. Our guiding question is, what is my learning as a leader from interviewing other leaders within a focused topic area? So really, like, as a leader, we've learned already in some of our content about the importance of continuous learning and continuous growth. So what's our role going to be in that through this experience that we've had with the interviews of other leaders? So now what we're going to do is go ahead and look at those elements. When your name is called, if you're prepared, you will share your screen and you'll share the focus topic that you selected. Were you looking at conflict resolution, multi-generation, emotional intelligence? Which area did you select? And then, and why was that important to you? And then you're going to share a little bit about this journey that you've had in interviewing your leaders. And through your visual, represent that learning and use it as talking points to share a little more detail about what you learned on the topic. And then just ask for some insights from your peers, whether that's through a survey, a Likert scale score, a rating in the or open text response in the chat box. What you'll do if you are one who is going to share today is you're going to upload a reflection and a copy of the feedback received from your peers. So this does not have to be a formal paper. This can be a paragraph of a few sentences or more, just sharing how now doing this reveal and getting the insights from your peers has helped you grow as an organizational leader. That simple. You're going to upload that to the Moodle no later than the Sunday following your reveal date. So today is the 6th. That means that by midnight on the 12th, you will upload that reflection. The incorporation of feedback doesn't have to be a formal report. It can be on average or a highlight from the feedback that really helped me, or something I didn't consider from the feedback was. It really is not as important to me to see the actual like document. What's important to me is what you're doing with that feedback in your development as a leader. So it's a 3 or more sentences about your learning, and then incorporating what it means to you from the feedback from your peers. A copy of that information is what you will upload. So without further ado, let me see now who all we have. We have more present today. So we're going to spin our wheel. Ooh, Mansoor. So let me look. Is Mansoor in the room? Are you ready to present today, Mansoor? If you're speaking to me, I think you're on mute. Mansoor?
Hello, Professor.
Hello, are you ready to present today?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Are you ready to present today?
Well, I'm not that ready, but I will do my best.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove you from the wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and mark you as presenting. And know that what is important here is what you learned from the experience. Okay? We're not looking for anything fancy and exciting. This is about being real and owning your learning, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. You can share your screen when you're ready.
Sure. Are you able to see?
Yes, except for I see myself really. There you go. I saw myself really large. Now I see. Thank you.
Okay, so the topic that I selected was conflict resolution from a leadership perspective. And I interviewed with 4 leaders. And the points that I have, I will share shortly. So there are the points that I discovered or I realized. Um, I learned throughout this process were that I learned about that conflict has not only uh, disadvantages but also advantages as well. So they have cons and pros. I would like to explain the cons, which is work disruption, and discuss decreased productivity, project failure, absenteeism, turnover, and termination. For me, the most interesting thing was that conflict can result to benefits, to advantages as well, which is if there is a conflict, there will be if the conflict is resolved in a effective way, it can resolve misunderstandings. It can improve processes, and it can change behaviors between two people. And I think leaders have a role in that, that they can change the process. They can manage how they can manage conflicts, and the result would depend on the leaders. So the role of a leader is to have to change that into a positive way, to change conflicts in a positive way. So those leaders must have skills and abilities to do that. And the skills and abilities would be, I think, the most important one would be communication. So they need to be able to communicate properly. And also, I think they need to have emotional intelligence. So they need to understand their employees. They need to know that what emotions they need to have in order to communicate with those employees. And they also need to have a strong decision-making ability. And I also think that they need to be good negotiators. They need to negotiate properly and effectively, and they need to have that skills or ability to persuade people. So when there is a conflict between two people, they need to have the ability to persuade one or the other. So maybe, yeah, to persuade those people. Uh, as they said that communications are not about us, they're about others. So those leaders need to know that when they are communicating, they need to know the emotions of the employees or their subordinates. And I that's the role of leaders. And I think that yes, the importance of leadership, which is the third point. I told you that I'm not that ready, but uh, I try to present. So the importance of leadership is to uh, create an environment which is capable of achieving success. So and the three quotes that I would like to present from the leaders that I interviewed. The first one would be leaders can empower people to achieve organizational goals. And the second would be leaders make employees love their job. So not it will make employees to not come only for work. They will to work for the salary, but also they would make the employees or the people inside the organization to love their job and really want to work for the organization. The third would be that leaders help people to grow. So these three quotes, these are the three sentences that I quoted from the leaders that I interviewed. And also confrontation is this fourth point that I learned throughout this interview process. So I would like to mention one of the quotes from one of the scholarly scholars, which is the act of being, the act of forcing, the act of, okay, sorry, the act of facing something or someone that needs to be addressed. Can you just, can you excuse me 1 second? It's really, okay, really sorry.
No need
The
to
fourth point,
apologize.
the fourth point would be, I couldn't see this presentation, it was too small for me. And the fourth point would be that is confrontation. So I quoted something from the Forbes, the act of facing something or someone that needs to be addressed head on directly and proactively. So I think that no leader can avoid conflict entirely, but they can decide how to deal with it. And they can even learn how to leverage tough situations intentionally to better connect with their team. And if leaders learn to travel efficiently and positively through workplace confrontation at this level, employees won't follow them because they have to, but because they want to. So what I mean by this is that leaders need to have, be easy to be confronted. So they need to be someone that their employees can reach to. And if there is any conflict, those leaders need to be available. That those people that are in conflict, they need to go there and they need to sit and discuss the issue with the leader. So this is my presentation. I know it was it was not perfect, but I wasn't really ready to present this. I hope I delivered what I wanted to, and thank you for listening. And yes.
Thank you, Mansoor. I have a couple of questions for you. I think
Sure.
I missed, if you shared, I apologize. Tell me why, tell me a little bit about why you selected conflict resolution. Why was that a topic that was important to you from the options?
Well, yes, I faced this in my work environment. So recently, I faced this as I mm, had this situation with my manager. So I know that, but then we have a leader in the organization, fortunately. So yes, unfortunately, the manager isn't the leader that I would go for. And so I had this conflict with him. And when I saw this topic, I thought with myself that yes, maybe this is the chance that I can discuss. That I can discuss and research this. So maybe learned something from this. And also I use this topic, this study or this process, and I talked with my leader about this. So yes, about the conflict that I had with my manager. Uh, yes, it's the reason that I chose this topic.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So the only thing that I see that is missing is how you would like to get feedback from your peers.
Mhm.
Yes. Did you plan anything for that, or would you like them to put something in the chat box, or? how would you like to get some insights from your peers now who got to experience your learning through this presentation?
Yes, that would be great if they share their points, if they share their comments or feedback in the chat box. I would be grateful. I know that it's the presentation isn't complete, so sorry about that.
No problem. I will look for at least 3 or more to offer some compliments or considerations for Mansoor. I'm looking for 3 or more compliments or considerations to be written into the chat box for Mansoor. While we're waiting, I will go ahead and let you know, Mansoor, like it really touched me when you said that you had a manager that you were dealing with conflict. You were dealing with a conflict over, and how this has helped you and you were able to talk to your leader about it. And that's a great example of one of the many reasons why we did this work in this course, because as leaders, you're going to have experiences that you are going to need to be able to communicate with those that work with you. And then also just the stepping up when I asked you to, Mansoor, was fantastic in regards to you saying, I don't feel completely prepared, but I'm stepping up. I'm going to do this. Because you're going to have situations like that all the time as leaders. And it's not an option for you to put it off for another day when the timeline is tight. It's not an option for us to have someone else take the responsibility for us and still be considered a leader with the character that people are going to be drawn to and trust and support. So thank you for stepping up today, Mansoor. And I don't see anything in my chat box yet. So I'm wondering where our people are. There we go. Sorry, it was taking a minute. Lizette, thank you for sharing your view with Mansoor. And Olina, I won't read those out loud because he can read those and reflect on them himself. Okay.
Hello, Professor.
Yes.
So instead of writing, I just wanted to give comments, if it's okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So the presentation overall and how he presented it and took responsibility was really good. Yeah, as you've mentioned, he didn't hesitate. He didn't say I will take it later or let me present and see how others present it and so on. I just wanted to give a tiny feedback. So in our organization, we're told to not mention that we're not prepared, because yes, because people won't take that would question our presentation. So yes, so even though we know inside that we're not prepared, people are not gonna know. So mentioning that is giving them or creating that reality of us or them doubting what we've done. So yeah,
Great.
overall it was a great presentation. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. Thank you for saying that, Rodis, because I would not have known he wasn't prepared. Right? So I think that sometimes we have to trust ourselves and own it and do the best we can with what we have in the moment. And that is a character of leadership. So thank you for that insight. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again.
Thank you, Professor, and thank you, Rodas, and everyone for the lovely comments. And it's really encouraging. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Can you
welcome.
give me control, please, Mansoor? I don't have. Could you give me? I don't have control of the screen. Let me see what's happening here. Are you seeing my screen, guys?
Yes, we can.
Ah,
I think,
okay.
yeah.
That's why I don't need control. I have it. Okay. Thank you. It's just one of those days. All right, let's see who's going to be next. We have Clement, and I don't think he's here with us today. Let me check. No, so what we will do is remove. I shouldn't have removed him. Sorry, I'll go back and add him. And we will go to the next. And just so that you all know, I have it slated as about 7 people each week. So if someone's not here, I'm not going to make someone else feel uncomfortable if they are like really glad they didn't have to present today. I'm going to have 7 people, and like Clement, he counts as that, as one of those. So we've had 2, and I'm going to spin again. And hopefully we'll have someone who's here today with us. Mohammed Matar. Is also not here on my screen. Let me look at the participant list. Nope. Okay, so I need to mark him. And we'll go to the next option. Liazette, are you with us today and ready to present?
Yes, of course.
Fantastic. Okay, so now I really am going to remove you from the wheel. And the reason why I'm removing you from the wheel is because then you won't be selected again to go again next week or the week after. You get to just enjoy the rest of the presentations. So I will stop sharing and give you control.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Is it too small, I think, isn't it?
It is small.
If I will do like this, can you see from the beginning if I will just move it down?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, like this. Let's start like this. So I've selected conflict resolution from a leadership perspective topic because it's the most relevant for Kazakhstan right now, among others, I mean. So Kazakhstan today is on its way of developing leadership, its, how to say, new age leadership way. So before, maybe somebody might know that we was a part of Soviet Union, and we had very autocratic leadership tradition, let's say. And till this, maybe till the 2000s, it was very like heritage of Soviet Union. We had the same leadership position, and only last 20-25 years, we started to learn the new types of leadership, positive leadership, like servant leadership, participative leadership, and so on. That's why it's a very important for my country right now. It's a very hot topic, and it's the way that many organization is teaching new format leaders. That's why I choose this topic, actually. As for respondents, I selected them according to some characteristics in order to create the most reliable picture of the topic under discussion. So one of the leader I interviewed is from the generation that intuitively learned how to be the true leader of the new age. This person has high empathy and sense of justice, and always was in opposition to autocratian control system. So she suffered too much because of this system when she tried slowly to move on the servant leadership. So her experience was very interesting, and I like to speak with her. Another two interviews, they had, one of them had experience in both international companies and in local, and he could compare the difference in leadership between the local organizations and international, which already many years, let's say, have a very nice leadership way of presenting leadership management, something, I think it will be right if I will say like this. And one of them, it's a leader who was always working only in international companies, including their offices in Europe and America. And it was very interesting to listen his experience, because it was completely different than those people who was working only locally in local organization. So first takeaway point, it's that actually all respondents agreed that conflicts that influence company health, morale, and efficiency must be recognized and resolved, and preferably peacefully. In other words, those conflicts which are negatively affecting work and people should be resolved. This is the first takeaway point I want to emphasize. However, one of the respondents said that not all conflicts are inherently evil, because some conflict in the workplace can lead to healthy competition and contribution to personal and team improvement, and consequently reflects overall organizational performance. And I actually agree with this point of view, because there is not always conflict which should be resolved by leader. So the second idea I pointed out that was mentioned by respondents who have job experience in international companies is that strong corporate ethics have a positive influence on the prevention of conflict situation in general. So companies with high cultural behavior, with strong and strict ethical standards, statistically don't have many conflict situations, much less those which are interpersonal. And in case if a conflict arises in such companies, they have procedures and ways how to resolve the conflicts peacefully and with going through all the necessary steps. And the role a leader in this case is to set a clear vision of the company based on the high standard principles, and is because this vision is the guidance for everyone in the company, and including that HR departments will to elaborate these politics and standards according to the vision. So the next takeaway point is that conflicts have positive aspects, such as improvement of innovation and creativity in an organization. As one of my respondents said, that leaders have to extract lessons from any and each conflict in order to avoid a similar situation or similar conflicts happening in the future. And the outcomes of the conflict, or what may result from the resolution, it may have a positive effect. The real changes stimulated by conflicts. So I also actually agree with this statement, because when it's nothing happens, companies like in this, there is no development if there is no conflicts, I could say like this. And the last but not least takeaway point I want to mention, it's that leadership implies possessing many abilities, and one of them is ability to support a healthy atmosphere in the company, even when there is a conflict. Also, all respondents agreed that a decision made by a leader in the conflict situation not always should be fair, but has to be reasonable for the company and employees at maximum. And the conflict resolution doesn't imply that leaders should be involved in every and each conflict, because otherwise it will how to say, proves the low effectiveness of a leader if he will be involved in every conflict on the workplace. And the HR departments, together with mid-level managers, have to strive to resolve conflicts in the startup stage. So that's my brief presentation, and I would like to ask my peers about feedbacks. You can to print it in chat box openly, no problem. Thank you very much.
And let's make sure when we do that, fantastic, Leyazet, and let's make sure that when we do that feedback, that you put her name so that we can differentiate between Mansoor and Leyazet. And I apologize about the background noise. I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute to give that feedback, and I'm going to type mine in the chat as well, given the background noise that I have going on right now.
I hope this time I was not too much long and slowly. I'm trying to learn.
It was good. No, it was very, very good. I just I have background noise, and so I feel bad. So I'm typing a note, and then if it's quiet, I definitely have a few compliments and considerations for you as well. Let me just go ahead and finish typing. And if anyone else wants to say their feedback to Leyazet, you're welcome to do that. Okay, while we're getting some more notes, and I'm going to avoid the background noise. I will get a pair of headphones in just one moment. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and select our next presenter. Leazette, in the notes, I wrote about your incredible connection to your nation's needs and the focus on that. That was very impressive, as well as the way that you expressed your respect for and those admirations for those that you learned from during this engagement. So thank you for sharing all of that. So now to our windows. You can see the wheel again. Let's see who's going to be our next presenter. It is Mare, who I don't think is with us. No, so I will close that. So number 5. Co. Is he here with us today? No. Okay. Well, we are on number, hold on. 6. Let's try again. They must be building something amazing back there. Oh, we got to go. That was already a 1. We already missed him, but I don't want to remove him. Judalyn. Did I see you here today? I did not, and you actually had yours completed. Okay, one more, guys, and then if we don't have a keeper, we're going to go ahead and dismiss for the day and give everyone some time to get prepared. Judalyn again, hold on. Wow, I guess
maybe we can ask next one who was near with this person.
Yes, I'm okay. Olena. Olena is here.
Yay.
I was going to ask something, but good.
I won the lottery finally.
Yes,
Great.
Olena. I'm going to go ahead and
you.
remove you from the wheel, and I will stop presenting so that you can share. Thank you. Oh, the last one's the charm.
Okay. 1 second. My question is, can you see clearly the presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So, I'm glad that I'm presenting today. I have ready and want to share my energy with you. So, to start, I will explain mostly why I have chosen this item, emotional intelligence and organizational leadership. It's mostly because of its very personal, and it's had significant impact on my personal development. So here is my story. I have always been very ambitious lady, and I started my career at very early age when I was 19. I used to say and tell my story previously. I had a significant career in hospitality previously, and due to my dedication, I started and I was promoted at the age of 24, being a leader of the biggest department at the hotel for the time, which was the convention department. And it was the biggest not in even my city, it was the biggest in the whole country for that moment. It was a very big achievement for me, though despite of the fact that I was very hardworking, I had hard skills, I had lack of maturity and a lack of IQ. It was not enough for me to know my job. It was not enough to be a leader only by knowing your job and pushing everyone. So once I had a very good conversation with Ksenia, which is, you can see on the left side, Ksenia Gavrish. She was my ex-colleague, and she told me once, listen, I can see that you're struggling a little bit. Let me share you with my experience of emotional intelligence, and maybe it will help you. So I call Ksenia my mother in a queue because she told me a lot, and I basically then I started to pass tests and to understand what I miss in my life. So Ksenia, after interviewing her, she mostly she's a very clear communicator. She's a very good leader. She's very well educated person, and she said me the best idea what we have, that you have to believe in your team. The second one, Olga. Olga is a project manager at governmental institutions currently, and she's for me the person who is absolutely ideal emotional intelligence leader. She absolutely controls herself, and she's very rational and manager and recognize her emotions. She said me the advice, identify your emotions. As for Alexander, Alex, he's their ideal modern leader to my mind. He's rational, clear, concrete, result-driven. He's actually a IT technician himself, and he's certainly an example of leadership based on his own personality. As for Yuri, he's a very well experienced manager. It was very interesting to gain experience from him and from his respective perspective of emotional intelligence, because he's managing over 200 people. So basically here I have posted the most important key characteristics of AQ, which is social awareness, self-regulation, and motivation, because although all this effect on your execution. So as a result, the insight what is actually emotional intelligence, that is ability to understand own emotions and others' emotions, and to make certain decisions. Well, with Ksenia, we had very interesting conversation, but after our interview, actually, when it finished, and when we finished, she asked me one question. How do you see and how do you recognize whether it's a lack of a high emotional intelligence? Because recently she had argument with her best friend towards the politics, and she asked me, do you agree that we have low intelligence, emotional intelligence, whether we cannot agree on certain things? And after thinking a while, I answered her, no, I don't think so. I don't think that emotional intelligence is about compromising. Here I put it here because in my personal opinion and from the information I gather from my leaders, I understand that it's not about faking, it's not about making atmosphere or being constant agree with certain things which are not true. It's about your identifying your emotions and identifying the emotions of others and making the certain decisions. And then I answered her, if you consider that you're right and if she considers that she's right, it doesn't mean that it's not because you don't understand or you are too emotional. You have different points of view on certain things, and if you understand it, I consider that it's high emotional intelligence. So, so the benefits of it, work in environmental mostly. When we have leaders with high emotional intelligence, it's about less stress within the teamwork. It's better relations, increased self-awareness, improved leadership, enhanced problem solving, clear communication. And to my mind, what makes a key leader after interviewing my leaders, it's about empathy, self-identifying, and integrity, which is integrity in my mind is the most important. Being honest, and first of all to yourself, it's the main characteristic of a leader, because leadership is required to be self-regulated, self-aware, and also motivated. So actually, this is my short presentation. I have prepared a quiz. It looks like almost the same that we had during our leader lecture. I can post it now in our chat box. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'm looking for my reaction so I can send you a thumbs up. Well done. Something that really stood out when you were speaking, Olena, was the concept of it's not compromising, right? And people tend to really have a difficult time distinguishing between being flexible and compromising. And I think you nailed it when you were describing those attributes, those characteristics of a leader, and you included integrity. I think when it's about not compromising, it's that we're in our integrity. We know that we don't want to lessen the value of the outcome. And if we compromise, we'll be doing that. And then in comparison, being flexible is the route that we take, how we go about doing that changes for us, right? So we'll get that same high quality outcome, but maybe take a different route or incorporate some different approaches along the way, where compromising would lessen that outcome. Very nicely explained. I appreciate that. Very nicely explained.
Thank you.
I don't see the link that you said you were going to add to the chat.
I've just posted. Have you seen it?
There
Thank
it's.
you.
I have a little bit of a delay today. I don't know why. So I'm going to go ahead and engage with your link real quick, and then we'll so that those who are in the room can do so right now as well. And then we will select one more to finish out our day.
Hello, Professor.
Hello.
Professor, I know that unfortunately I'm one of the 12 that was not able to finish the solo project. I don't want to say that I lost faith in my leaders, but I hope they are just busy and not avoiding me.
Yes. So, so what is your plan?
No, I'm going to wait this week only until Friday. Until Friday, then hopefully I have a backup plan of choosing others, which I didn't want to choose from the beginning because due to personal things, personal feelings, I don't feel that they are leaders, although they were recommended by someone who is a leader.
I understand.
So I have to overcome these emotions. But what I'm saying is, I want to, I don't know if it is possible. I want to share two of my questions and discuss it with you and the team if possible.
Yes, let's wrap it up with that. You will be our 8th person if that's what you would like to do, or do you want me to spin to give someone
no,
else?
it's okay. It's okay. Well, if to be fair, it should be a spinning.
Yes. So to be fair, I'll spin, and then if that person is here, we'll let them go ahead and take their turn, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, Ahmed?
Okay, great.
Okay, very good. All right. Oh, so let me share my screen so that it's all fair. I really am going to have to update that audio because it keeps asking me every time when I go to share my screen. Okay, here we go. I think I have to scroll down. I think that he's not here today, correct? So you get your wish. Amen. Let me tag that so that we're good. And we're going to leave him on the wheel for next week. And I will stop sharing. And Ahmed Awad, you are welcome to capture our attention.
Okay, I shared my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, but sorry, this is not the question that I wanted to highlight. The second question. The second question, do you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
Can everyone else see it?
Yes, I can see also.
Great. So the second question has two parts. What are the benefits of having emotionally intelligent leaders in an organization? And this one is Mhm. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you broke up for a minute. You said this one is, and then I didn't hear the rest.
The first part, okay, the benefit of having emotionally intelligent leaders, it's well known. Even Olena highlighted some benefits of having emotional intelligence in her presentation. But I am asking here, how the benefits can be measured? How emotional intelligence can be measured in a leader or in an organization? This is actually the real question that I want to find an answer for it. That's why I want to share it with you and the team. If someone can help me and clear it.
Okay, so I've already read it. I want to hear, I want to give everyone else a chance, whoever wants to speak, and then I'll share. Olena?
Yes, I can share my suggestions because it's also my topic, and that's what I am most curious. In my understanding, and your question about the measurements, it's about understanding the, I would say, some zones of development of the team. If you understand that you have, for instance, conflicts within the team, or misunderstandings, or lack of feedbacks, or different, I would say, either communicational issues, within the team. So by implementing and developing emotional intelligence, you can see the results by like measuring their last or current situation and with the prospect situation, comparing. So you can just compare, not to measure, I would say it.
Thank you for
So in-
sharing. See, Ayazay?
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. Just can I, excuse me, Lizette. Can I say one thing, please?
of course, of course.
Okay. Thank you, Elena, for your reply. What I understood from you that having an emotional intelligence could, one of the benefits is will be increasing the harmony between the team, right? The harmony, understanding the feelings, the situations. So
Yes,
this
overall,
is
yes,
what
I
I
agree.
understood.
Overall,
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Lizette, please go ahead.
Yes, it's not my topic, but I think that in emotional intelligence also mean that leader can recognize the employee and to share the work according their abilities. For instance, if I'm slow, don't give me the very urgent task. He will this leadership with emotionally intelligent leader will give me task which is I can do slowly in using my time. And this sharing of job among the right people also is saying about intelligence. And in general, the happy face and work place, it's also saying about emotional intelligence of all involved people. And the third measurement, it's, I think, how all this influence on the results of company. Is it very, how to say, very profitable or not? It's all in the end of the day, I think, will be we can see it in the financial results also. That's what I want to share.
Well, thank you, of course, but I'm a little confused here because if I am, let's say, a manipulative employee, okay, and I don't want to take pressure. Okay, so I can play with this. Like I'm a slow employee and I don't want to take much more workload. So I can play on this part.
It's not
But
about
I
the amount of job, it's the type of job. You will have the same responsibility, not the same. You will have job description and you will take the position which is satisfy your abilities. If you are very slow and don't want to do more job, you will not be manager, or you will be just the first step junior or something like this. It's not possible to manipulate too long, you know. Anyway, one
yeah.
day, 3 months maximum, everything will be very clear for everyone.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Mhm. But at the same time, the happy employees or the like if I'm a leader and I became aware and understanding of my employees' emotions and I worked my way to improve that, I agree with you. It will lead at the end to more profitable or more profits to the organization. I understand this point. Thank you so much.
You're
So I
welcome.
think that Rhoda had something that she wanted to say as well.
Yeah, I was going to call her name.
Okay, very good.
I think Lizat mentioned most of it. So emotionally intelligent leaders, their results can be measured in the performance of the company, as she mentioned, but also the employees themselves. They show the characteristics of the leader. So in a way, you can count on any employee that's under that leader. So one of this emotional intelligence was also my topic. So one of the leaders I interviewed mentioned that we incorporate the leadership trainings in their day-to-day lives so that they can become leaders as well. So you can count on the organization as a whole in terms of the performance, in terms of its customer handling, in terms of everything. So not just financially, but in terms of everything, you can count on the employees and the values that the company provides. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Well, I will say something. Great minds think alike, you and Lizat. And what I understand from what you said, okay, is that we can consider good emotional intelligence is contagious. It spread from the leader, okay, whatever his level, to his subordinates and to the rest of employees accordingly, right? So if this is, yeah, and you partially answered my second question. So thank you so much. Professor, please.
Thank you.
Actually-
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes,
go ahead.
hello.
For comments, and then I'm waiting patiently. Go ahead. I would like to hear more. I heard someone say actually.
Yes, me.
Yes,
Yes.
Nora.
I believe that emotional intelligence is like the sixth sense or like reading minds. It's very hard to be measured. It is about how we feel and how we express our feelings. But from my point of view is that the best way to measure is with observations. So, for example, once I was working a couple of years ago in a consultant office, and I heard my manager once blaming someone that he's adding his ear set inside his ears. And I just asked him why you are blaming him for that. He just need to concentrate in his work and have an output. But his comment was that as long as he's putting his ear set or headpiece inside his ears, he will not be aware of the environment surrounding him. He will not be aware if they are busy, if they are mad, if they need other resources. So it is like about observation more, like activating your senses, your ears, your eyes, your mind to detect what people feel and know and observe that. So I believe in observation to detect emotional intelligence. Beside, of course, the tests and the other measures, but observation play a big role in this part. Thank you.
Thank you, Noran. You gave me a real nice insight here. Yes, I agree with you about the observation, but observation of who? Me to my manager, or my manager to me as an employee? And to be honest, yeah, go ahead.
Continue, please.
No, I want you to reply to this question, please.
Yes, it is a mutual observation from my point of view. So it is not about who will observe whom. So when I observe my manager, he is stressed, he's in good shape, he's happy today, he's feeling bad. So I have to be synthetic a bit. So if he's happy, I will encourage him. If he's sad, I will try to give him an encouragement. Or if he has bad mood, I will try to just delay some tasks and not discuss in this bad mood, and vice versa. If I'm not feeling well, he has to observe that too. So it is about your self-awareness and awareness of the others, and it is a mutual process, I guess. So it is not about whom will be observing whom.
Well, thank you. You have cleared the conflict I had right now. But regarding the case that you mentioned about your previous manager and the employee who's putting headsets, well, I agree and disagree with the manager. Okay, I agree that the employee should be aware, but to some extent, if the employee is used to put this and, you know, forget about the word and just be in his own in his own, what do you say, cocoon, okay, then no, this is wrong to put an earpiece or headset, whatever. Okay, but if it is occasionally when he is doing some pressure, or so when he's doing some certain project, then every one of us needs sometimes some of quiet time to close things. So here I don't agree with the manager, or at least the manager should be more detailed. But that was a great explanation. It gives both meanings. Thank you so much.
Yes, actually, he did that with this guy, because he usually used to put his earhead or earpiece inside his ears all the time. So he said to him, yeah, that you are not aware of the surrounding. You are not aware is a colleague in beside your desk is fine or no, or the manager or the people surrounding you. So he blamed him because he was using the headset all the day.
Then
So
he has
it was for a
absolutely
certain,
right in that.
yes, for a certain condition.
Thank you for the discussion, really. Professor, please.
Okay, so I still have some background noise, so I apologize if it's difficult for you to hear me. They just decided to do some construction right outside the window. So I am really appreciating the conversation and the elements that each of you are bringing into it. What stood out to me when you asked the two-part question, Ahmed, was and how can these benefits be measured? Because I think that within the question, you have a very common question that will be interesting to hear through the lens of your leaders, and then also how they're measuring and what their considerations are, or conundrums, you know, their difficulties with measuring. So I wanted to bring to the conversation an article that I was reading from Transforming Leaders, and it was about the concept of measuring creativity. And I think that it's along the same lines. They are both considered, Alina had put in the chat box, soft and hard skills. They're both more of those soft skills, right? And what it is when we look at measuring for our rate of investment or rate of return, we're looking at skills, understanding, and knowledge. Those are very simple to measure through different assessments. But when we look into people's aspirations and beliefs, that's where that quantitative research doesn't suffice. We need to look at the qualitative approaches, like was mentioned, observations. So in this article about looking at how do we measure creativity in the workplace and looking at what those results mean once received, you know, how do you use that information? It really gave great insight into this concept of collateral or peripheral experiences and learning that have high impact on our bottom line, but are very difficult to measure in traditional ways. So incorporating a triangulation of information is really important, and setting up a direct line to those emotional intelligences with those bottom line outcomes is important as well. But I think, I don't remember who said it, so forgive me, but one of you said it comes down to like building those abilities to monitor what we're stepping into. Is my boss having a good day or a bad day? And how do I learn to pivot or change the way that I'm interacting with that to continue to build momentum and complete my work in the best ability I can while supporting that leader? And these are all super important conversations for us to have. So thank you, Ahmed, for bringing it to the topic. Any questions in regards to what I said before we go into your next item?
Well, thank you, of course, for your insight. Unfortunately, in the middle, my daughter came to me, and she was talking, and I was not able to concentrate a lot. But in general, you confirmed what I sorry what I concluded from the other team. Okay, increase in harmony, increase in understanding, and it goes both ways. It goes manager to employees, employees to manager. I know my manager is busy, or he's not in a good mood today, so I will not make him even more upset with bad news or problems. Okay, so I will be considerating, and it applies also between employees and each other. So yes, I understand how it can be measured now. Yes, I understand. I understand. Although all these measurements are um, emotional, not metrics, not numbers, which is it's the main reason I chose this topic. I am more into numbers. I am more into hard. I would say. Just plain numbers, plain and simple. Not I have always struggled with emotions, either mine or understanding others as well, even the closest people to me. So that's why I choose this. So thank you to all the team. And can I go for the second question?
Yes, I just do want to say numbers are
Yeah.
never simple.
No,
Numbers are simple, but maybe you'll come to a place where you can connect different research components, different approaches, and build in the trends. Those
yes, this is what I'm saying.
yes,
So
very
if I
good.
can say that by teaching or implementing emotional intelligence in the company, the sales came up 5%. I would understand this. I would actually feel the importance. Not, of course, it's important, but feel the impact of it. It's a hard, solid, touchable, measurable impact. But as I said, it's a challenge for me. The emotions is a challenge for me. Um, yeah, it's a big challenge.
Well,
Okay,
awareness is key, right? Awareness is key. You have another
of
question here?
course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
How can emotional intelligence be integrated into leadership training programs for organizations? How we can teach leaders and employees emotional intelligence? Okay, I understand we can all go and read emotional intelligence for there is the famous writer for that. I have the book, but I forgot the name. There are several books for that. Okay, and I have seen on LinkedIn Learning a lot of courses for emotional intelligence, but uh, is that it? I mean, how can I tell someone be aware of your emotions, be aware of someone else? Is it just this readings and uh, as I said, I'm still finding the difficulty in it. Yes, please, Lizette.
Yes, I want to say about my personal experience. So as HR manager, I always did a plan for next year, and there I was writing topics, and one of them was like, let's say, emotional intelligence, and gave a short explanation what is it and how it will influence to all managers and employees, what exactly I am expecting to do with this, and what they will be obliged to do. For instance, we will buy a course and everybody should look we will give 30 minutes each week to watching videos all together in conference room or somewhere else. After we practiced something like listening skill, activity listening, empathy, and something like this, you should do your plan and to like approved by your SEO, and after to share it with all your department staff and maybe mid-level leaders, and to make them acknowledge what will be next year and which month, what you're expecting and what you are going to do. Actually, it will help a little bit, you know?
I would appreciate if you can tell me, like you mentioned it's a personal experience. Then I would like, when you are saying what is expected, so we are back to the result. What is expected from this training? So that basically the training is readings, hearings, videos, okay, which is no difficult, no different from any other learning perspective.
Yes,
But as you said, the most important thing.
We usually, in order to simplify the process, we usually bought the video courses, because it's very easy to watch some videos, to listen what people say, and like employees don't need to spend a lot of time at home or somewhere else to do some work. All together they can watch some video. After that, maybe if we purchased some entertainment courses, you know, after 15 or 20 minutes, they give some task, and these employees, for example, if it's an operation department, it's 100 people, they shared like 20 for 5 groups and discuss something among their groups. And after this, when they go to work, they continue to think about this, you know, anyway, they cannot stop thinking about what they just watched. And during the day, they try to communicate about this topic. After that, when they communicate with production department, they start to say what they see, for example. And it also triggered the second department to be to wait for their time for this course, and also to be able to watch these videos and discuss with colleagues. It's very helpful, actually. From my perspective, as I understand, for the not managerial employees, videos is the best one. They can look, watch, and learn from this. Of course, for managers and high-level management team, it was private courses where there's actually no video, too much books, and it was more self-awareness, you know, do they want to train this or not, because it's very difficult to come to SEO and pressing him like, say me what you did. But for employees, it's very easy. Even during the 2 years, we can notice the progress from the beginning point to the 2 years development, because every year we had a lot of trainings in the different types of not only intelligent emotions, also like, you know, lean and so on. And the improvement was very huge, I could say. During the 5 years I worked in this those organization, and it was like from earth to heaven improvement. I hope it helps.
It really helps. Thank you so much. And now I have an idea. Okay, I have read it in books, but now it can be implemented. That we, as you mentioned, we can give a task. Okay, so by giving a task, the leader will have a great focus on it. Of course, it's all of these trainings will it is connected to the abilities of the and commitment of the leaders, of course. Yeah. So giving a task, focus on it. By doing it for a certain time of period, for a certain period, the task can turn into a habit and can stick. From nodding your head, I think I'm going the correct way, right, Professor?
Yeah, yes, I actually dropped in the chat box a link to Daniel Goleman's work, and he does trainings. He's incredibly schooled in emotional intelligence, and some of the key elements of training for learning for adults, period, is not just to receive the information, but have those opportunities for interaction. Like Leazette said, it's a video, but it's staying with them all day. Well, when you incorporate article or book studies in groups where you're having conversations about it, when you incorporate coaching from experts who know how to pick up on elements of EI, when you're incorporating observations to look for sustainability of practice across your corporate setting, those are all elements of strong EI training. And unfortunately, quite often we think we can do a half-day training or meet online for 40 minutes and now we've got EI all figured out, or whatever the training topic is. But in reality, that's always just a touch point in people's lives, and everyone comes to the topic of focus, EI in this situation, with different experiences and exposures. And so it's up to your facilitator or your trainer to be able to pick up on those and offer insights to what's needed next. It's not a package per se that is interacted with everyone in the same way and you'll get the same results. It is really looking at bringing in elements for learners to read, to view, to interact with, and then to assess in real time, how am I doing with these skills or understandings that I'm trying to incorporate into my leadership ability. And that's where the cycle of more presentation of materials meets tuck-ins with people with expertise, coaches and trainers who have the insights to be able to lead the pathway of your organization for the training rather than just sit and have a training. Although influence is powerful, and Liazette shared that, you know, like you're thinking about the impact of the video. Someone else might not have even really watched it or had any kind of interaction with it, but the article that they read or the coach that spoke with them will impact them. So there's multiple touch points that are required for true sustainable change to take place. I hope that helps.
What I understood so far is the reaction, or sorry, not the reaction. The reaction of the trainees to the training materials depends on how they observe the information, either by video, by written, okay, and also their past experience will play a big role in how much they will consume knowledge and implement it. Well, I can say it is it is difficult, but I now have a lot of ideas, a lot of So if in order for me to improve this skill, okay, I need first to understand from where I get knowledge more, whether it's a video or a reading or a discussion, as you said, with someone else. And accordingly, my outcome. But the the problem is in the measuring. The measuring. Like no one will come to tell me that, oh, you became good in understanding emotions. Like I can get that, yeah, you are good in Excel or you are good in Microsoft Office. Okay, my expertise, my yes, please, Lisa.
You will know it because if you, for example, in HR, the number of complaints, the number of people who is coming saying something will decrease dramatically. You know, if it's every day coming 25 people and saying complain for somebody else that somebody didn't do something proper, that after this training they can communicate to each other. They will come and ask first not to run to HR that you should solve this problem, but first they will come to the colleague and try to talk with them to communicate because they see how to do it. These trainings give the tools how to resolve the problems between them. And you can measure in the end of the, for example, if we take a year, how many complaints and problems, conflicts you have in the beginning of the year and how much you have in the end. It's a very clear measurement, actually.
I understand your where you are coming from because I am in HR, okay, and so an outcome would be me understanding their problems and trying to mediate between them before I take a hard decision of penalty or punishment, right? And at the same time, as a result, for me being more emotional intelligent, I would be able to guide them in the guide them how to deal with conflict in the future, so I can be a catalyst for emotional intelligence. Well, I
Yes,
understand it now.
and one more things you can do actually, which is helpful. You can do some questionnaire, you know, about emotional intelligence or some. You can include all the questions you need and give the measurement, and you can first and you can ask this every year, you know, and you will look how change the answers of your employees. It also will be some kind of measurement, you know. For instance, if the are you happy in your workplace, first year he will put 3 out of 5. The after all the trainings, maybe 2 years or 3 years later, he can put 5 out of 5, and it will be the measurement of satisfaction of all these course and trainings provided to this employee.
Well, this part is matching what Olina said in the chat box about passing tests for EQ. Although personally, I'm not a fan of EQ test. I'm not a fan of emotional test because sometimes our mind.
It's not clearly emotional. It's about full satisfaction of job. You can do like this questionnaire, you know, all the questions you are interested to know, to get answers from them and to evaluate the not only your job, but the job of mid managers, everybody, you know, in the company, and to understand from employee perspective how they see the situation in the company. Because as a management, we can be not aware too much of what is going on. Because, for instance, we can have a meeting among managers, and after we just forget to say our employees what decisions we took. After this, we have some problems in communication, and when you will pick up the answers from your employees, you will see the full picture. Did the all information flow very correctly, and so on. You know, it's not only about IQ; it's about everything in the company.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it also incorporates into your goal setting, right? Like it builds into when you have those hard numbers, you can look at the pattern or the relationship of your EQ. The assessments themselves will tell you where you're at, but what it also will give you is an opportunity to look at where you can go. And and so then it can become a part of your focus in how you're approaching the work. And then you have the correlation.
Well, I understand now a lot. And thanks to everyone, Lizette, Professor Olena, Noran, Winnie, Rodas, everyone. You give me a great insight. Now I can have a discussion on a solid ground. Like it's not like I'm hearing for the first time, but I heard and I'm expecting the result as well. Thank you, Professor, for yes, Lizette.
You did very nice. You know, it was free of charge brainstorming.
Yeah, indeed. Although I got the questions, I got the questions, and to be honest, I searched this, okay, about the questions, and I got a lot of questions about emotional intelligence, but I chose the one that really touches me. Really, I want to know about this because I want to improve in this. Now I hope my leaders fulfill their word. But anyway, I'm not. I'm very satisfied, and even if I'm, I don't want to say anything. I am optimistic. I will do the interviews.
Yes. Yes. And here we wouldn't be able to have had this conversation had you not selected that topic. So thank you for sharing your questions with us and for selecting the topic. And I love that some of your peers have selected the topic as well and are growing in their understanding and have different levels of expertise in it. And it helps us all to build our own understanding in a little bit of a stronger way. So thank you. Great conversation.
Thank you,
So
Professor.
this is actually going to conclude our day today because we had a few of our peers not here ready to present. So I will give you this time back to work on your assignments for this course or other courses, or just take a breather, go get yourself a cup of tea, and think about the rich conversation we just had over EI and also the incredible information that we had to consider in regards to conflict resolution that was shared today too. So unless there's anything else, go ahead and sign off and have a wonderful day or evening or whatever life brings you in these next moments. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank you
day.
all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.